And shine and welcome in everyone. Jason and Alicia here with you on this weather impact alert day.
Yeah, it's definitely hot. You can feel it. As I said, John, when I left my house, the handle of my door was wet. The windows were dripping. I'm like, do I need new windows?
No,
What's going on here?
No. That's condensation. And that is not what you want to see when you're going outside. It is the hottest day of the year, the highest dew point of the year, and maybe the strongest storms widespread of the year, all in the same day. Excessive heat warning from the Twin Cities south. The reason we don't have it in western Minnesota is because you're going to get caught with potentially the storms early enough to relieve you from the heat. Because remember, the storms will drop the temperature. If that isn't enough, we've got dense fog this morning. How about that? It's everything in one day, right? And I know a lot of you have your kids up going to the first day of school. Watch out for some fog. Crystal to Blaine, and you can see it's a little thicker and dense on the west side of town. As we go through the day, I highlighted the areas in red where the impact hours are. Starting in the afternoon, really noon is where you need to be weather alert here for the heat index to 110. And storms. You see the storms get going here 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll time that all out. I'll show you what it looks like on future radar in a bit. Cece?
Hey there, good morning. If you're just joining us, still seeing a pretty large police presence at this rollover crash up in Fridley. I've seen more emergency vehicles coming as the minutes go on. It's 694 eastbound near East River Road. It's happening in this far right lane, and it's also impacting the right shoulder. It's not slowing traffic, as you can see to the left, but the crash is impacting cars if you're trying to get onto 694 at this East River Road ramp. I've seen some stop and go for a good chunk of the morning. You can still use the ramp, but definitely take it easy. If you're headed toward Arden Hills this morning or even farther east, definitely stay left. I'll let you know when that clears. Otherwise, things not in that area looking really great this morning if you're headed out the door over the next 30 minutes. Jason.
All right, Cece, thanks. Now, before we get to our top story here, we got some breaking news in northeast Minneapolis. In the last 7 hours, police were on the scene investigating a situation involving a motorized scooter near 14th and Central Avenue Northeast. Our photographer on the scene tells us there was a pool of blood off of the curb, and crime lab investigators were out there as well. They appeared to take the scooter in as evidence. We do have calls into the police department, and we will update you as soon as we learn more.
Back to our top story here at 6:03 this morning. You're waking up to a KARE 11 weather impact alert. And as John mentioned, temperatures could feel like 105 degrees today.
So we have team coverage as you head out the door this morning. Michelle Beck is live at the State Fair looking at how to stay cool. But first, let's get out to Audrey Russo with what to do if you don't have any AC. Hey, Audrey.
Hey, Jason and Alicia, good morning to you guys. Yet right now it's about 80 degrees and we're still about a half hour from the full sunrise. Somehow here in Boom Island Park, I've seen multiple people out on the trails running. Probably not what I would do, but honestly at this point before the sun is high in the sky is probably the safest time to do so, because once the sun is up, that is when you are going to need to get yourself inside some air conditioning. If you don't have it in your home, fortunately the Salvation Army has you covered. They're opening up 7 cooling centers today at 7 a.m. There's going to be 3 in St. Paul, 3 in Minneapolis, and 1 in Brooklyn Park. They're going to be open through business hours for the rest of this week, and they're for everybody, but they're really for people who don't have AC. Hennepin County and Ramsey County also have some tools on their website to find other cooling centers in those areas. And getting in the AC is key because fans unfortunately just don't cool you down the same way that AC does. They circulate the air, but they don't lower your body temperature. Now, if you can't leave the house, one thing that's important to keep in mind is to make sure your windows are shut, your curtains are drawn, your blinds are shut, because 40% of unwanted heat inside of a house actually comes through a window. So another good thing to remember. Also, if you have to be outside for any reason today, make sure you avoid that 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. window. Those are the hottest hours of the day. And heat exhaustion and its more dangerous cousin, heat stroke, can set in pretty quickly. When I see you next, I'll have more information on how to tell the difference. But for now, I'll send things back to you.
Audrey, thank you. Now, in the next few hours, we're going to find out if the heat is impacting attendance numbers. After record-breaking days both Thursday and Friday, numbers from yesterday will be released at around noon today.
Now, with it being Seniors Day today, keeping cool will be extra important, of course. Michelle Beck joins us now with what you should know. Morning, Michelle.
Yeah, good morning to you, Jason, Alicia. Take a look at what's happening, all this activity by the cattle barn here. A lot of physical activity going on, people on the move, hauling boxes, hauling wagons, of course, getting ready to show their animals. And when I spoke with a few exhibitors this morning, they tell me the same thing. You can see the look of concern on their faces. They are, yes, concerned about the welfare of the animals, especially when I asked them, how are you going to be dealing with the heat and the humidity today? Of course, their attention turns to the animals. But of course, we know that heat and humidity is going to affect the crowds of fairgoers out here today as well, especially as, like you mentioned, today is senior discount day. More reasons for fairgoers to pick out loose clothing and even an umbrella to block from the sun. 8 misting stations are also scattered around the fair, and the official State Fair app will show you where all 23 water bottle refill stations are located, including at the KARE 11 barn.
The biggest thing we see is dehydration at the fair and heat exhaustion. So we really encourage people to use sunscreen, take advantage of that shade, take advantage of those air-conditioned buildings, and just remember, the fair is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah, take advantage of misting stations like this one too. This is again by the cattle barn, Stevens and Judson. Of course, shut down right now, but we assume that it's going to be pretty packed under these misters coming up when the gates open, starting at 7. Guys.
Oh, for sure. All right, Michelle Back reporting live from the fairgrounds. Thank you. Other news headlines this morning, just after your lunch break today. The second man charged in the famous ruby red slipper theft will be in court. Crystal police say the ruby slippers worn in The Wizard of Oz were buried in Jerry Saliderman's backyard. Police also found more than 4,500 stolen items, including artwork and merchandise worth more than $400,000. They say the items were stolen over the course of 18 years around the metro. Today's hearing could determine whether he'll go to trial in 2 weeks.
It's a story that just keeps on giving. New numbers from both Minnesota and Wisconsin health officials show that COVID is on the rise once again. Both states saw a growth in hospitalizations last week. Wisconsin officials say the biggest increases in their state are children under the age of 5 and adults over 65. Now, COVID cases are also increasing across the U.S., so federal health officials will be giving out more free tests starting in late September. Under the program, you can get 4 free COVID tests shipped to your home. When the time comes, those who would like the tests can sign up at covidtests.gov.
We're just 4 days out from Labor Day weekend, and TSA is expecting to be record-setting time for air travel. According to travel data, MSP Airport has the second most on-time departures during the busy weekend, with 91% of all flights departing on time. In the last hour, Gas Money released new gas numbers showing that the prices dropped over 15 cents in the last week. This morning, you'll pay around $3.21 for a gallon of regular in the Twin Cities. At some stations, we're seeing prices as low as $2.83 a gallon.